picture right there.
Okay. So what section?
Section 5.
Mm-hmm.
Board member who's to introduce new
Oh
board
my
member.
God. Yes, it's a
Yeah, it's Nizar, Nizar, and the last name is Lavji, Lav as in Victor, Ji. Yeah, the next 20, 30 years, this name is going to be very popular. So,
Okay, Nessa. Lauderdale.
yeah, Lavji.
The second motion. Was it you, Patricia, or
I seconded.
any other corrections? Okay, do we need a roll call vote?
No, you can.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Hey, thank you. Good evening. Please welcome Miss Amy Jean-Baptiste with the Department Update. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. So as a presentation comes up, I'll go through the updates. All right, so it's a lot of things happening in December. We have probably about 14 events I'm about to go through. So I'll go through them really quickly. We'll start with December 4th through the 14th. This is the Orange Bowl. This is part of a tri-county agreement that we have with the USTA Orange Bowl. Part of the agreement, we do 4 tournaments, and then there's a big international tennis championship that's happening this month. We're very excited about this event. This is the first of its kind coming to Fort Lauderdale. It previously was in Plantation, hosted in the city of Plantation. So we're excited about this tennis championship. Next slide. So it is ribbon cutting. We're doing a ribbon cutting for Aviaka Park. If you guys remember, this had came before you for Parks Bond that required this land, and we named this park. So Aviaka Park ribbon cutting is on Friday, December 5th at 11 a.m. So if you are available, feel free to come on by and cut the ribbon with us. Next slide. Light Up 6 trunk is on the tail end of our light ups. We do about 6 light ups for the holiday season, and Light Up 6 trunk is one of them. So it is this Friday as well, from 5 to 8 p.m. along the 6 Trunk Boulevard between 9th and 11th Avenue. Next slide. Esplanade Park on our Summer Jam series, on our Jazz Brunch Series at Esplanade Park, December 7th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with 3 bands, 3 different stages. We do, as you guys know, we do this every first of the month, every first Sunday of the month. Next slide. So our winter college team training camps is getting ready to start at the Fort Lauderdale Aquatic Center at Black. So we have about 50 college teams, of course, mainly from up north that we host. So this is something we do annually. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention as well. And spectators are free if you guys want to come out and next slide. Jimmy Everett Tennis Center, along with the tournament that's happening, we're also doing the dedication of the Chris Everett Stadium Court and the grand reopening of the facility. As you all know, we did extensive renovations to the facility, and we're going to formally do a ceremony on Monday, December 8th at 10 a.m. This is also happening while the tournament is happening as well. Next slide. Thank you. The YMCA, we all know that YMCA is coming to Holiday Park. And the groundbreaking ceremony is happening on December 9th from 3 o'clock. So if you are available, feel free to come out. We talked about the YMCA coming along with a emergency department on the corridor of Holiday Park, right next to the Parker Playhouse. So yes, if you guys are available, feel free to come on out and let me know. Parks Bond meeting. So we are doing a public meeting for the Parks Bond related to Snyder Park. That's happening Wednesday, December 10th at the Morton Center. So really, we're getting public feedback in terms of what they would like to see happening at Snyder Park with the funds allocated there. Light Up Carter Park is happening on Friday, December 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. There's another tree lighting ceremony that we have throughout the city. So holiday decorating contest is really for our residents, but it's housed out of our department. So what it is residents that are, decorating their homes. It's a contest throughout the city. So if you know your neighbor or if you yourself are decorating your home, feel free to join in on the contest. So registration is open between now until December 12th. And then after the holidays, we'll announce the winners. So winners are selected by the public. So your home will be featured on our social media, and then the winner is the one with the most likes.
What does the winner get?
Bragging rights. So Light Up the Menorah celebration is honoring the first night of Hanukkah. That's happening Sunday, December 14th at 6 p.m. at the Loop or Las Olas Oceanside Park. And our downtown countdown, which is our New Year's event, I'm very excited about this event. This happens. This is on our downtown corridor. This is happening December 31st from 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. We do have a kids countdown, so we do like a lighting of the anchor at 7 p.m. So for the kids, and then for everyone else who wants to stay to midnight, we do the actual countdown on midnight, and this will feature fireworks as well. We also are doing a drone show, and we also have a national act that's coming. So that TVA is a national act that is set to perform for this event. Kwanzaa Ujama is our Kwanzaa celebration, and that is happening at Provident Park on Monday, December 29th from 2 to 5. For 2026, this is the next event leading up to our next meeting, is the King Holiday Celebration. So this is about 3 or 4 events that's happening, so more information to come. However, on January 19th is the actual parade, which is our annual parade that we do to open up the celebration. So it actually happens on King Holiday. And then we have quite a few celebrations leading up to the end of the week. And then this is a discussion point that I wanted to talk to you about. So back in October, Commissioner Sorensen mentioned fireworks as part. So we conduct fireworks for 4th of July and for Downtown Countdown. And as part of his comments, he wanted to explore replacing fireworks for environmental purposes for drone shows. So we have done drone shows before. We're not new to the drone show world, but we have not done one off the beach. And we have not done one with the 4th of July. So I am prepared to have a presentation. I'll be discussing the options with Commission in January. Before I bring it to Commission with options, I wanted just to have an open discussion. If you guys have any thoughts or anything like that. Like I said, the fireworks show that we have are for July 4th and for Downtown Countdown. So the options would be either we replace fireworks with drone shows, or probably do a combination of some sort in tandem with fireworks. So any thoughts, any questions, or open for discussion?
I love the fireworks.
Personally, I think fireworks are really bad for pets.
Oh.
I'm very scared. So to me, all drone would be the best thing.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
I'm talking about out in the water. Less the fish are scared.
So it's over the ocean.
Oh, so that's a good point. So for the fireworks for 4th of July are off the water. So
Yes.
So they are off the water. However, our fireworks for Downtown Countdown are on land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no,
that's what I was thinking.
The ocean one. I'm fine.
That area has a lot of residents, especially the symphony.
I agree with you that one, but the ocean one should have.
Can I ask what you like about the fireworks?
It's so traditional.
But it looks the same.
Right.
So what's the environment?
I don't know what the drone show looks like, but it would just not replace the traditional.
So the commissioner brought it's just an environmental concern in general regarding fireworks in
Do
general.
we have an facts presented? What should we use? And do some research and see what actually do you have any specific chemicals that are landing in the water and affecting our fish. I think that would be good.
And I don't think it's only tied. I don't think it's only tied to the water. We talked about land. We talked about noise pollution as well. So
Okay.
so there's other concerns that residents may have tied to it. So it's not necessarily only.
Any idea what the cost difference is?
So yes, so it's significant. If we're talking 4th of July, it's significantly cheaper. So to do a drone show roughly on the beach, you need about 400 drones. For 400 drones at $200 a drone, we're talking anywhere between 80,000. Yeah, 80,000. We do 500 drones, 100,000. Fireworks is roughly about with the barge tug. We're talking about 140,000.
To rent the drones or buy the drones?
We're renting. It's a service. It's for the show.
Yeah, but to rent it's $200 a drone.
So it's no rent. We're not renting any drones. So the service is a drone show. So it's essentially a 15-minute drone show that we're paying for.
Oh, so what's the total cost? One Marcia?
So fireworks would be 140, and then the drones, if we're doing 400 drones, we're talking 80,000.
Oh, so it's cheaper the drones.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So the drones would be a company that would be hired to do it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I said the drone show would be the company that does it, you would be hired to do.
Right. Similar to the fireworks, we hire a company to do the fireworks show. We'll be hiring a company to do the drone show.
I went to one last year and I wasn't sold on it at first. Now I saw it. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty amazing what they do. And it's all pre-programmed and it's I'll actually
It's better and better every year.
Amelia Island has one for the holidays. It's crazy.
Is there an option to increase the number of drones to match the same price and make it like awesome?
So I do think
You
the
know what
400.
I mean?
I think the 400 is awesome. That's a good point. I think the 400 is awesome. Like the city of Pompano just recently went from 400 to 500 drones. So we've never done one off the beach. City produced event off the beach. So I think starting at 400 or starting at 500 may be palatable for the commission. However, I'm not sure if that will be the direction or doing it in tandem. I don't know if it's a shorter fireworks show and the drone show. Then that's when the discussion.
So I've seen some like incredible videos of drones, like doing drone shows, and they're like I don't even know the word for it. Like breathtaking.
Yeah, if you're thinking breathtaking, you're thinking like 1,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got to up that number.
So maybe we could
So
start.
I think it's great to save
smaller,
money.
like 500 for now, and then if this goes very, very well, next year we can up to 1,000. Like you're saying.
So speaking about the environmental concerns, do you know how the drones are programmed? Is it with a supercomputer? Because computers also drain on our environment.
So I'm not quite sure how it's programmed. I know it's software based and how they it's totally customizable of how they do the show. So I'm not sure too.
Don't understand how computers.
But is it like AI generating? So when you do AI generating, it just takes a lot of servers. So there's been all this discussion and articles about how that also contributes to pollution. And
If you have a large language model, yes, obviously it will take a lot. But drone show is not much data at all. Yeah, exactly. There's no processing that would impact environment. It's like 0.0001% of anything else.
Okay.
In fact, the fireworks is actually much more harmful to the environment.
Well, I like fireworks for 4th of July, and I'm willing to entertain downtown having drone show and see how that goes. I think just as like Kay said, I'd like kind of divide the baby. That's a recommendation, but I don't know. You heard others are happy with drones.
Well, I would have to agree with the chair. I think people like both, and that would be a good middle ground. I never heard about an environmental law prohibiting fireworks in New York, California, 4th of July, Washington D.C. That's the most stringent environmental laws that I know here across the United States, and they having fireworks. So I don't think we're violating any environmental laws right now by having fireworks. But I understand the concern about the dust, the noise, and maybe that's a good middle ground. I think 4th of July is a tradition,
I enjoyed it on the beach. We had a whole party, and the fireworks were over the water. And we took our chair out and we watched it, and it was fantastic.
The downtown is more space limited, and everybody is celebrating the, New Year's Eve. Not everybody's going downtown, and so I think that would be a good recommendation.
And this is for 2026, right? We already have.
Yeah, this
New
will be
Year's
for
plans.
2026, 4th of July, and
And then
possibly
possibly
downtown.
downtown.
But not this, not
Right,
this year.
right.
No,
My
this-
presentation
Yeah.
would be in January for moving forward and how we operate.
I think it'd be good to have both, and then you can get feedback, maybe survey, and see what the interest was from the larger group.
I think both would be good. For one thing, just remember July the 4th is celebrating violence in the making of the birth of America. And so, I think it's important, to keep that in mind. That's why you have a holiday. But then the drone thing is the new hip thing. So you got the past and you have the future together, and that would be very emblematic of what Fort Lauderdale is trying to keep.
And in fact,
Respect the past and, honor the future. Try to take care of it. So you have both. And then, I think if you didn't have fireworks on July the 4th, it would seem weird to, America, really. I mean, that's what we do.
and in fact, in the national anthem, we have
That's what
saying
we
about
do.
rock.
Controversy, yes,
It's all
in
about-
air,
Absolutely.
nothing but drones.
Yeah. So a combination would be great.
Maybe they'll come up with some environmentally friendly fireworks. Something,
Trying to see turtle food.
hey, next year, after we do it this time, we want some environmental friendly fireworks, or you're not going to get any more business. You got 1 year, figure it out. Make it happen.
All right. So if I'm hearing everyone, you guys are in favor of having both, but not really in favor of totally eliminating fireworks.
I
Yeah,
thought,
I
I thought that for one, for the land, we will only have drones, but for the other one, for the
Oh, 4th of
July 4th, we'll have both.
No, not both.
Oh,
Fireworks.
Either both or just fireworks.
Just fireworks.
Either both or fireworks.
Okay, so 4th of July, either
Fireworks.
both or fireworks tradition, and then for downtown countdown, we're good.
Well, it's an additional cost. Let's just do fireworks for 4th of July, because we don't need to add another cost.
I think it's also complication because people are gonna
Yeah.
because they don't know what to watch. If you
Right.
want both, it's like, oh, this is great. Oh, but this is bad.
Yeah.
I think let's keep it simple, either fireworks or either drones. Why don't we start combining?
And they're not necessarily happening at the
At the
same
same
time.
time,
Yeah, so
yeah.
there's going to be a
That's
different run of
exactly
show. Yeah, so and of course we'll do things within our allotted budget. So I don't want you guys to
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I'm referring to what in terms of preference, in terms of are you in favor of totally eliminating the fireworks? Let's start with 4th of July, I guess. So if for 4th of July, you're saying either fireworks or both.
Fireworks for the 4th of July beach.
Yes.
I don't think we have 4th of July in the city.
No, I'm referring
Yeah.
to the beach.
Yeah, beach. And then for the city, New Year's downtown. The drone.
Is that the motion?
Oh,
It's not really motion, but it's discussion. Did you
Yeah.
need?
And no, I don't need a formal
Just
vote.
a general.
Yeah, I just wanted a general consensus, so I can, not that it's going to be totally part of my discussion, but I wanted to make sure that I speak with you all before I actually do the presentation.
I think it would be worth it to try it for 4th of July and see, and then if it's,
Try what?
the drones,
No,
because
thank
it's
you.
the same thing. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, and
I
then
would
if
be happy with
everyone,
drones
if
for
it's as
everything.
awful as everyone is expecting, then we can just go back to fireworks.
I like both.
But if we're gonna consider the drones for the countdown, we're gonna know before 4th of July anyway.
We
No,
would not know
this
next
is for
year.
2026. So what would happen first
Next year.
could be fireworks and then drones.
Okay. Well, I
if we
think
had
the
a
beach is safe
combination,
for fireworks and they look beautiful and I like the bang bang and the colors,
Yeah.
but downtown I say try the drones. Could be safer and you're gonna get younger people down there anyway that are doing the countdown and stuff, so they might go for it. But more families go to the beach.
There's always like the debris from the fireworks too, so if you're doing that over downtown, it's gonna fall over the city.
That's why we trust drones for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's why there's also an environmental concern with the water.
Yeah.
Right, because the debris is falling water. So,
Do you want
I'm
hands
sorry.
raised to have a breakdown? Would that help? Because I
Well, it's debris falling.
No, I think
Okay.
I think I have a consensus of that you guys would like the drone. I'm sorry, you would like the fireworks at 4th of July, which is the beach, and then you would prefer the drones only at the downtown county.
And if there's a way to survey, I know not everybody will respond, but if there's a way that the city can send a survey following the event, I don't know if that's
Following you?
Yeah, like what did you like to include? Because then
Or
we can get some
before.
more feedback.
It's not going to be at the same time. What's the time difference?
Well, July.
One's in July and
versus
one's in December.
Oh,
this feedback would be open to all the citizens.
I feel like it should be open to all the residents of the city of Fort Lauderdale.
That's a very good
Just,
idea.
and also just like how
I
they,
think
like
that's
I will
a
tell
very
you
good
not
idea.
vanilla ice anymore for the headline
So
with the Ninja Turtle song.
So what I've been noticing, I've been in the industry for a long time, is when it comes to procuring entertainment, it has been increasingly difficult as the pricing has skyrocketed.
Yeah, he's
So,
local, so I get it.
has skyrocketed.
But yes.
So we've been having difficulty getting talent within our budget, within our needs.
But you have newsletters, there are pushes, like there are ways to communicate that the city does very well. So maybe consider putting in a survey to say, like, what did you think of the show? And have that as one of the questions. And then when you tabulate for December, again, the show about drone, have that as a question. And then you can, and then you have some more data. You have some more feedback on what people liked. And
so the survey is on the phone.
Well, it could be by email. So when I get the City of Fort Lauderdale newsletter and other communications from the commissioner, it's usually by email. But I don't know.
There would be a link on the website.
Yeah, it could be a link on the website. Yeah.
Respond to that.
What kind of research or feedback has there been or data as far as how many years now that we've done fireworks on the beach and environmentally unsafe and the damage it has caused? I mean, do we have that to look at? Because I know some are saying, well, yeah, it's better for the environment, but how many years have we been doing them now? And how much has it been damaging to our environment over the water we're doing that?
Thank you. You're welcome. That's the end of my presentation. And then the next
Yes. So I think we now have an introduction to the Sustainability and Special Projects Division by Dr. Nancy Gassman.
Yes. So last meeting, we told you about the reorganization of our department, and as part of that, sustainability is now part of Parks and Recreation. And I wanted to introduce you to Dr. Nancy Gassman, who is the Deputy Director and the Chief Resiliency Officer for the city.
Thank you for your time tonight to introduce the newest division. So you're accustomed to looking at parks this way. There is a parks team and then there's a recreation team. But we are now adding a third division where sustainability and special projects has joined. And we feature 4 different programs within that team. But before I talk to you a little bit about the team, I want to introduce myself. I have a PhD from the University of Miami in marine biology. I have 18 years of experience working on water issues, water resource issues, water quality issues. I was the director of the county's environmental monitoring division, so if you have environmental questions about things like marine debris, I'll be happy to talk about those things. And then moved into energy and sustainability while I was still at the county. I've been with the city for about 12 years, started out as their sustainability manager, moved into higher and higher positions in public works. But while I was there, I was overseeing solid waste and recycling, fleet, stormwater operations, environmental and regulatory affairs, and then sustainability and climate resilience. And then with the recent reorganization of the city and the city organization, our team has moved over to Parks and Rec. So who are the sustainability and special projects division at this point in time? So we are 4 programs, grants and special projects. Leone is our lead for the grant team. We've got the beach experience and the beach business improvement district. That's Judy Erickson. The aquatic center, as compared to the other community pools, is now under our purview. That's about 50 staff, and then the sustainability and resilience team joins Parks and Rec. That includes the urban forester, and it's roughly 8 staff that are coming into parks to add this additional functionality. Along with the staff, we bring one of the major goals in the city's strategic plan, and that is to be a sustainable and resilient community. And in order to do that, there's sort of 2 sides of climate concerns. There's the greenhouse gas piece, and then there's how do you adapt to these climate issues. And that falls under mitigation on one side and adaptation on the other. So when you're looking at mitigation, you're trying to find ways to be more energy efficient, try to reduce your greenhouse gas emissions, try to reduce your carbon footprint. So within the city, the sustainability division really works across the entire city organization to try to find where are those opportunities in every single department. And so relative to sustainable transportation, we are working with transportation and mobility, as well as fleet, in order to increase the number of EV chargers that we have that are available to both the public and to our own staff, to increase the number of EV vehicles we have in the fleet, and so that when they go to their home facility, they've got a charger to charge up a city-owned vehicle as well as employee vehicles. The Beach Community Center is a great example where we have renewable energy. There's a solar panel array on the Beach Community Center. The commission recently gave us money for the next 5 years to continue to expand the use of solar panels and other renewable energy options on city facilities. We just completed this year a net zero plan. Net zero is how do we get to net zero greenhouse gas emissions over the course of the next 15 to 20 years. There's 2 different goals. I'll talk about those in a minute. And then the last example that I have here is that the park staff have recently completely switched out, replaced all of the old lights, street lights, with LED lights, which are much more energy efficient. They cost the city less money in terms of energy consumption, and they provide a very different quality of life to the community. When you look at this interface between mitigation and adaptation, we also bring to the department the water conservation program, the Broward Water Partnership.
You can't close.
In terms of looking at complete communities, the city has recently been certified as a lead community for cities, lead for cities and communities. We got a gold certification for that. And in addition, we just finished developing our urban forestry master plan. I'll talk a little more about that as well. So for the net zero plan, there are 8 community focus strategies that go along to help us reduce our greenhouse gas inventory from the 2019 baseline. We will be working with the community on things like energy efficiency, renewable energy, a variety of transportation options to try to improve the use of public transit, scooters, things that make what they call the last mile easier to achieve. as well as solid waste issues, water and energy conservation, and the tree canopy. So as we move on to the urban forestry master plan, the goal here is in our comprehensive plan to reach a 33% tree canopy by the year 2040. Does anybody have any idea what our current percentage of tree canopy is?
Not as much as
3%.
plantation.
3%?
3%.
20%?
1%.
Oh, 1%. 15. Oh, you're killing me. I've been here for 12 years. Let's hope I've done more than 1%. 26, roughly 26.5%.
How does it compare to City of Plantation? Do you know?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, they have a lot.
But in order to get to this point, we've got to add 2.2 square miles of canopy over the course of the next 15 years, which is a lot. Roughly accounts for planting 10,000 trees or more a year, both on public and private property. Through the Urban Forestry Master Plan, that's provided us with a roadmap on how to get there. 14 action areas, 62 recommendations that really hover around four areas of focus: increasing the canopy, preserving the canopy, maintaining the canopy, and then public education and awareness of our urban forest. So on the adaptation side, that's our resilience piece. So through the Advanced Fort Lauderdale, which is our comprehensive plan, through a variety of different master planning efforts, we have done a lot to look at resilience planning, whether that's disaster planning or whether that's looking at king tides. In addition to that, we have been doing a lot of infrastructure upgrades that are related to both stormwater master planning as well as master planning, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But one of the major efforts since the April 2023 event has been the Fortify Lauderdale effort, and that is a huge effort to try to accelerate improvements in the stormwater system throughout the city over the course of the next 10 years or so. Next slide. When the city has done master planning for resilience, we have incorporated sea level rise projections into pretty much every master plan that we've done. We've also looked at changing temperatures over time and more extreme rainfall events. So whether it's a seawall master plan, or stormwater master plan, our comprehensive utilities master plan, the parks master plan, as well as the cemetery master plan, looking at rising groundwater table. The city has incorporated all of these resilience issues into their master planning scenarios, which has allowed us to better understand what investments in resiliency that we need, and those get incorporated into the community investment plan on an annual basis. So that's the Sustainability and Climate Resilience Program. We're bringing on the Fort Lauderdale Aquatic Center, which all of you are already familiar with, but we've got 3 major goals this year that we're working through, and that's to grow the city's team and our programming of the facility. We're also looking to effectively coordinate with the major improvements that we're going through with the public-private partnership, with the International Swimming Hall of Fame activities that are going on right now. And we're trying to attract more world-class swimming and diving competitions, because this facility is a world-class facility. And the newest one that we are getting very close to being able to say it's absolutely going to happen January 17th is artistic swimming. The national championship for artistic swimming is expected to be at the city of Lauderdale.
What is that?
Have you ever heard of synchronized swimming?
Yes.
Artistic swimming.
Okay. I thought you may have said autistic swimming.
We have that too if we need it. For the beach experience, this is part-time working with the business improvement district, and part-time just making sure that there's someone who's keeping an eye on how the beach looks and feels. And our major goal this year is to maintain the beach experience in general, keep our eye out for things that can improve or may detract from the experience, not only of the tourists, but the residents that participate in our largest, what I'm assuming is our largest park, which is the beach. Yeah. We're also looking to develop an ADA inventory on the beach. We're going to be updating the wave wall signage. Currently, it's all text. We're going to be switching to an icon-based signage so that people who read English, as well as people who understand icons, can have a better understanding of what the rules of the road are for the beach. And then, obviously, we want to support the beach business improvement district as we continue to grow. Finally, we've got our grants and special projects. Currently, we have 3 applications in to granting agencies. We're overseeing $7 million in 13 active grants. We've got 8 different grant sources that we're currently working with. And we have 5 pending grant agreements, 2 of which the International Hall of Fame applied for to support the seawall placement and to improve dockage at the peninsula. Our goals for the grants and special projects include closing out old grants. There's some grants that have been on the books for a long time, working on taking care of those, being more proactive in identifying new granting opportunities, improve the process of our grant management and grant tracking, and then in terms of special projects, the Sustainability Board just finished a review of plastics use at city facilities. These are single-use plastics like utensils, straws, styrofoam. We just finished a review of that at city events and for city facilities. And we'll be presenting that to the city manager in the coming weeks. And then another special project that Leona had been working on for some time was this idea of making sure that parks have a parks land use. And we're pretty much done with that, Leona, is that correct? So those are 2 examples of special projects that are currently being looked on. And with that, I will happily close and answer the questions.
Sean, do you have questions?
No, the one I'll pass on, but the second one, you brought up the wave wall, and first of all, I'm down at the beach probably every weekend, just walking, and the city does a great job of maintaining the east side of A1A. The wave wall lighting, is that? I wanted to talk about that because there's actually somebody that's there every morning for 10 years. There's an area right across from the Marin that just has the white lighting in the wave wall. And it's fantastic because it's bright enough to where you can see early in the morning and late at night. And it doesn't affect the sea turtles, I don't think. But if you go further north on the beach, obviously the light's not working in a lot of areas.
Parks went out to bid to try to get a vendor to come in. We were only able to get a single vendor to put a bid in, and it was 4 or 5 times the funding availability because this is a very specialty kind of lighting, and so the city is going to procure the lighting system itself and work with our own electricians to install the lighting over the course of the next year.
Well, and I don't know. For years, obviously, it changed colors and it moved, and that doesn't. I mean, it's simpler, it's better sometimes, and it's less expensive and it's easier to fix. So
I'm happy to take that idea back, but keep in mind that I've been with Parks since October 20th. So I've got a lot to learn yet, but thank you for that.
But I think they do a great job maintaining the beach. It's absolutely remarkable.
I had a quick question on this. There are these numbers here. You said there are 8 initiatives, but there are like 6, 5, 6, 3. What is that?
It's the number of recommendations associated with each of those strategies.
I'm not sure.
So there's categories, and then there's a number of recommendations that are associated with each category. That's what those numbers are.
Could you describe some of the special projects, grants that is pursuing? Okay, aquatics.
Grants for the aquatic center. Currently, we've got lots of special things we're doing out there, but grants for that particular facility are challenging to find. But we're doing a lot out there to try to expand how we're interacting with our existing swimming teams, working with coaches to try to improve the environment in general. But there's lots of opportunities for us out there, but challenging during the construction. Because right now, Ocean Rescue is being built. A facility for the Ocean Rescue team is being built on the footprint of the aquatic center. And so that's limiting the ability to bring in certain events for the time being. And we're also currently building a brand new seawall on the peninsula. And that started yesterday, and we're getting a lot of feedback about how that's going. I don't think I answered your question.
So later, maybe offline.
Dr.
Go ahead. I'm just going to show them real quick. So for energy efficiency, the net zero plan has 6 different recommendations that are associated with energy efficiency. For electric vehicles, there's 3 specific recommendations that are associated with electric vehicles.
And this net zero plan is on NOAA's website.
It is on the website, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Chair?
Can you share a little bit more about what the land use looks like for the parks? What that entails?
I'm going to let Leona answer that question.
In terms of the zoning capabilities,
Yes.
well, we still have about maybe 6 or 7 remaining out of the 38 that we started with. It was just a matter of having a lot of our parks, which were either zoned residential or commercial districts. We're trying to get them all rezoned as parks. So that was the process. And some of them we're still working on because they're a little bit more complicated than others, like the Black facility in particular. We also have the Beach Community Center, which we're working on because that district was zoned like half commercial, half residential. So we're trying to get that one connected as well. But so far we have about 33 currently.
And what's the benefit of having designated as a park?
Well, so that way we have the flexibility to utilize it and keep that what should I say?
Land use restrictions.
Right.
Okay, so then we can still choose to build a park facility on it.
Yes.
But the key is park.
Right. To name it.
So that's the city-owned properties.
Mhm.
So that means the city would not be able to put like a fire station over there.
Because it's zoned.
Or YMCA.
Yes, there'll be limitations.
Well, why is it private
Yeah.
partnership?
Yeah.
It could be,
Yeah.
but and the city owned or the city hall, like
Right.
if they were
Okay.
looking for land that is speaking out, then there's a need for infrastructure.
Good protection.
I mean, they could still rezone.
They could,
that.
yeah. Couldn't they
They
just
can
rezone it and then?
They can. They
Yeah.
still the same process. It's a zoning back.
But if you're going to rezone a significant land parcel, it's going to go to the commission and the public will have an opportunity to provide.
Yes, you have to have a meetings.
Okay. Thank you.
But that's a good thing you can do.
Yeah.
Dedicated for the park, let's keep the paperwork.
Is this a reorganization?
It is.
Okay.
It is part of a broader reorganization by the new city manager.
Yeah.
I believe we went from 10 departments to 16 departments. And in doing so, certain programs got moved into new departments or existing departments, and the Sustainability and Climate Resilience Program was one of those that was moved.
And I believe we spoke about it at the last meeting where Carl was saying that there was like a reorg happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing is the Urban Forestry Master Plan. Has that been published?
Don't think it's up on the website yet, but it is. It was published as part of a commission conference agenda item at the last meeting, but it will be up on the website soon.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think that's great. I think it's awesome. And I'd love to just see the details.
Yeah, we can send you. We can actually send the board to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
One thing I think, and I don't know if it's even in the scope of it, but we're doing so much development in the city of Fort Lauderdale that maybe it's too onerous, but both public and private development, it would be great to have higher thresholds of urban forestry included in it. It's just great to have a green city, in my opinion. So.
And your comments reflect those of an extensive public outreach that was done as part of this program. We went and had meetings in every district and people had the opportunity to provide that feedback before the recommendations were developed. And development was one of the critical concerns of the public in terms of make it harder for people to take down so many trees, make them pay more if they are going to take the trees down. and look for opportunities to help preserve the trees that are on certain development sites so that the developer is more willing to work around those trees rather than take them out.
Yeah.
So those are all recommendations that are in the current plan.
Great.
And
Love to see it.
what about, we have a plan for adding, let's say, 10,000 trees, I think is what you said per year, right?
That's the goal if we're going to get to 33%.
Well,
Yeah.
what about encouraging these developers to, go in on that? Basically require developers to support the city by supporting that initiative.
So the way that the current there's a tree preservation and landscape trying to remember landscape regulations. So over the course of the last 5 years, we've been working on trying to change both of those pieces, and it got to a point where kind of got to a stalemate between the public and the developing community. And in the last 2 years, we've been able to change the code for the tree preservation piece to talk about exactly those things. There is still a lot of requirements in the landscape side of the Unified Land Development Code that requires single-family houses that are built new must have 3 trees or 5 trees. I mean, all of that is in code now. And the question is, where are the opportunities, knowing how hard it was to get this ordinance through, where are the opportunities to try to create incentives for developers not to knock down so many trees, try to create disincentives for taking those trees out because it's going to cost them a lot and it may not be cost effective, and then look for the opportunities of where can we plant more, better, and make sure that those trees stay healthy.
Any other questions for Dr. Gassman?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Chair. Well, first of all, congratulations on the move. But I have a question regards the grant special project. So looks like you're bringing 2 employees with you full time.
No, those existed.
Those are existing employees.
Those are
They
existing.
already existed. Okay,
So
my question,
the only new program that's coming into parks is the Sustainability and Climate Resilience Program, and then the other 2 programs were reassigned from the other 2 department directors, the deputy department directors.
so my question is, how many grant specialists is right now in the parks and operations?
It's 1 full-time person and 2 part-time people.
And they work on the overall all grants for the parks and recs, including sustainability, including there's no division between the grant writers.
No, but I can tell you that the sustainability division has been long accustomed to working on grants for themselves, and so they bring expertise even though there's not dedicated grant specialists that are working within sustainability.
And you have the 8 employees for sustainability right now across the city.
Within the program, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right.
Have you done a study, or are you planning to look closely at how you can enhance the ecological impact of reviewing the way that the pools in the city work?
Well, isn't that an interesting question? So, the community pools, I would say 8 years ago, started to retrofit all of their pump stations so that they were what are called variable pumps, variable frequency drives, which has a much lower energy cost, and they tend to last longer because it's less work on the pump itself. So taking advantage of those opportunities. When the aquatic center was built, the aquatic center used to purge pool water out into the intercoastal. We don't do that anymore. So a reduction of chlorine that's going into the environment, et cetera. So there's been a number of actions that have been taken to try to look at not the sustainability piece and the environmental piece of our community pools. And now that we are part of this team, that's another opportunity for us to start to consider what some of those options might be.
What are some of the options with substituting some chlorine out and some other you know.
So I can talk to the aquatic center specifically. It's a very large facility, and it has to meet international standards. And the international standard equipment is chlorination. There are certainly other ways to manage pool disinfection, bromide, etc. But I don't see that that's something that we could do at the aquatic center because it has to meet these international standards for us to be able to have Olympic level
It's got to be closed.
events. That's my understanding, but that is not certainly a question that I will ask more in depth moving forward.
Well, the fact that may be the case with the aquatic center doesn't necessarily mean it has to be that way with the rest of the
You're
pools.
absolutely right.
And would that be advisable given your assessment of how chlorine adversely impacts our ecological systems?
Yeah, the issue with chlorine is that, and you may not be aware of this, but it's illegal to discharge potable water into a waterway.
Okay.
Potable water. So get a glass of water out of your tap, walk down to the canal and dump it in. You've now done something illegal because of the chlorine levels. And so when people need to empty their pools, they have to run the water across their lawn so that the chlorine has an opportunity to gas off before it gets into a waterway. The issues aren't that different for other types of disinfection. You still have to account for those issues. But I agree with you. There's opportunities to look at not only environmental but cost-saving opportunities with using different disinfection. Specifically at the aquatic center, we use a chlorine generator. So as opposed to bringing in tankers or containerized chlorine, that can be very dangerous and it can be environmentally challenging. But having the chlorine generators within the system means that we only generate what we need and we're not storing it for long periods of time.
Do you think there's any chance that the international organization would change its requirement that there has to be chlorination?
That absolutely could happen in time, but for the time being, the type of equipment that we have at the center, very expensive equipment, is geared toward a chlorine disinfection for the pools.
Thank you.
Certainly.
One more question, going back to the grants.
Yes.
If you were talking about. What are we applying for grants from federal government, or what is that grant about?
Any granting agency that is offering a grant that fits within work that we are currently doing in the city of Fort Lauderdale will be considered for a grant application.
It could be international, it could be national,
It could be
state.
philanthropic organizations, it could be niche organizations. Last year, the sustainability team applied to the Florida Beverage Association for a grant. I mean, it's wherever you can find the money. And again, I'll emphasize this, that fits within work you're already doing in your program. We're not going to chase grants that create new work for us when we have plenty of work to do with our current programs.
So the follow-up question was, do we need the grants? Does the city have enough funding not to need the grants, or what is the purpose
So the
of
city never has enough funding to do what they want to do. Grants and the sustainability program are what's called general funded, which means that we rely on the general taxpayer funding in order to support the work that we do. And I think many of you have heard from the state that they're looking to reduce or eliminate property tax. And the likely result of that is that we'll be able to offer fire and police, but that we'll have to close all of our parks and we won't have the funding to do other generally funded activities like work on sustainability or support urban forestry or things along those lines. So
it's an important function that we need to keep.
Yeah, and it's not just limited to supporting the general fund. For example, in stormwater, which I oversaw previously, we generated over $35 million of funding to continue to move through stormwater improvements. Currently, the expectation over the next 10 years is close to $1 billion. Any amount of money that you can get from somebody else to support that will ease the burden on taxpayers and utility fee payers, ratepayers, etc. So the city is anxious to look for grant funding wherever they can find it. But specifically, and Leona can talk a little bit more about this as well, is that we're kind of refocusing on understanding when the opportunities are coming and trying to make sure we understand what projects are available and potentially cost funded so that we can go after these grant funds and be as successful as possible.
Thank you, Dr. Gassman.
You've got a very inquisitive group here.
Yeah. All right, on to new business. Does anybody have any new business to bring forward to Deputy Director Amy? That's a very good question. I'm trying to come up with the latest update. Latest update was a couple meetings ago. I can send you information on that.
I just had hair product commission last night or 2 weeks ago. So I don't know, it's just team's going to be long gone by the time anything shovel gets in the ground. So.
But there was a discussion in terms of possible changes to the design.
Of pickleball.
Yeah, of the design of the parks. But I'll definitely get you the latest updates.
Are you able to provide an update on Hyzinga Park?
So Hyzinga Park, I want to say it's supposed to be in the spring. That's through the DDA. So that's not a park that we solely manage in house. That is through the Downtown Development Authority. So I can give you guys an update on that as well.
Can I ask about Holiday Park for a second, and specifically Jimmy Everett? I don't know if anyone here plays tennis. I play tennis. And
It's hard to hear you.
I was saying that I have some feedback from playing at Jimmy Everett recently. So, one of the things that's been coming back to us in terms of feedback is that there's no place to hang your tennis bag. So before there was a table and there was hooks on the poles. There's none of that happening at this point. The other thing is the shade structures. I'm not sure if you've heard feedback on this, are extremely high. So there's actually no shade unless it's high noon and you're standing direct or sitting directly on the bench. There's really no shade from the sun and or from other elements. So if it rains, you're gonna get it. So I'm not sure if you've heard this feedback, but I'd like to hear if there's anything to do with that feedback at this point.
So that's a very good question. So in terms of the hooks, I believe the last update was there was some background on the hooks.
Okay.
In terms of the shade structures, you're referring to the individual shade structures that's on the floor. Correct. So that was a design flaw that we realized through AECOM. That was through a design flaw, which will be addressed. However, it's not an immediate address because it's a lot. It takes a lot to redo. So no, we are very much aware of both issues, and I think this probably next meeting in January we kind of go through the full Jimmy Everett Tennis Center and the operations and what's to come. Yeah, I think that's I'll put that as an item.
Thank you. The second area I'd like to bring up with Leonard is the bathrooms at Holiday, which can be a haven for truants and doesn't always feel safe. I go to the park. I have school age children, so have been in the park often with kids for baseball games, for any number. I'm at Holiday Park a lot. So it's one of the things where women don't feel comfortable going to the bathroom unless they're in a pair. They're not always clean. It's an issue that I feel like for such a beautiful park, for such an amazing park, it's an area that could use some serious improvement.
So that has been an ongoing issue, not only at Holiday, but all of our parks. The last 3 budget cycles, I want to say that was one of our decision packages, and decision packages are essentially a high-level item that we bring forth in budget for consideration to increase the cleaning of those. So currently on contract, there's one cleaning a day that happens at some of our parks, and we supplement that at Holiday with some part-time assistants, but the level of traffic through Holiday is vastly different. What I will say is we've done some analysis where our contractor will come from the park and then not even an hour. And you know, you just talk about truancy and being housed, we're talking an hour later.
Yeah.
It's unrecognizable in comparison to the photo that we received from from the contractor. So this has been an ongoing issue. We tried to address that through the budget process, and we will try again to come up with another way. Like the last budget cycle, we kind of put a decision package to bring on more full-time support to address this, because right now we're doing it with contractors part-time support. So we've been looking at different avenues to address that. It has been increasingly difficult. Some are better than others, but the holiday is probably the biggest challenge, honestly, with the outdoor restrooms and the traffic, and then just people that are there all day because it's a park. So so that has been difficult, and your concerns are received. But in terms of long-term, there's other avenues that we're looking at. We've been trying to for years as it relates to the restrooms.
Would additional security in the park, police presence, would that be helpful in mitigating that issue, you think?
For restrooms, I don't see us.
Not necessarily, but just in the
Oh,
park.
just
in
a
general.
presence. Oh yeah. So right now we only have about 11 to 13 FTEs of park rangers, and that's to supply the whole city. So when we're talking a complaint on the beach, if we're talking a complaint on site, it's like they have to divide and conquer throughout the entire city. So for security efforts at Holiday Park, I think over time we'll look at adding additional FTEs possibly for specific to that site, versus having all 13 dispersed, maybe having a specific person for that site, a specific position for that site. That's something we'll look at in the future along with PD. So park rangers are under the purview of the police department. So yeah, those are avenues we are looking at. But the restrooms have been ongoing issues for a while.
They're terrible.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's come up here for discussion.
So those restrooms are open 24/7.
No, they're open 6 to 9 park hours.
Open
Yes.
park hours.
Yeah, so 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. If you want to call it 24/7.
That's why they put the external gates by the baseball field about 15 years ago. When the nighttime came and everyone, they would lock it up because people were sleeping in the bathrooms. They were locked. I mean, it was. I know they're bad now, but what it was 15 years ago, that you couldn't use them. So they put those external gates about 15 years ago, which helped. But absolutely. But the park rangers used to go by, check the bathrooms, lock the bathrooms, then go out and lock the external gates. But I'm sure they're overwhelmed. Yeah. Quick question: what does it cost to play tennis at Holiday Park at night?
At
The
night?
fees? Yeah, the fees.
I'm a member there, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't pay. I pay a yearly
Yeah.
membership.
I know they used to have like a daily activity
I also
fee.
run that over there. I play tennis as well.
Yeah.
Before the renovations was quite expensive. I think there was about $11 for a residence and 18
For an hour on the court.
correct for 1 hour for non-residents.
I'm wondering
And the
because
membership was about
the fort is fantastic. We played there, and it's over $50 an hour per court now in the season. And the commission keeps touting that's great. P3,
yes,
and it's $50 an hour for city residents. So just it's beautiful at the fort. It wasn't that 3 months ago. It is now because they have such demand. But it's a beautiful facility, but that's not what.
That's fixed law.
$50 an hour. But you can put 4 people on the court, so it's.
Isn't that private?
No, public can go there. It's a P3, but
You're talking about a private
But it's a
talking about the fort.
Yeah, it's public-private partnership.
Right now, it's at least $50 an hour.
Yeah, for season.
So that's why I was wondering. So it'd be like $12.50 per person. So if it's 4 people. No, I understand that. I'm trying to make the comparison because.
Well, you better switch the pens.
No, I play tennis too. I play at Hardy.
Play
Go
basketball
to Sunrise
at the
Middle.
beach.
Pickleball at Sunrise.
I live right by it. Well, that's another thing. Stranahan, you guys did a great job. They put pickleball courts at Stranahan High School, but we've gone there with 6, 7, 8 people, and the gates are locked and they're supposed to be open. So they might want to take a look at that.
What time?
6 o'clock at night when they're supposed to open.
What?
6 to 9, Stranahan.
unfortunately, we call the
high school.
park rangers and they come. You have to wait around half an hour. It's tough for them. So I know they're spread thin.
They can observe the hours.
I was,
Good
gonna,
point.
I was like, you're calling the park ranger to open the gates for pickleball? This does not seem like a great use of our time.
They're supposed to have it done.
They're responsible
Their
for
responsibility to open
opening
it to
the
come up.
gates. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we just paid how many $1 million to build this port.
Yeah.
Can't use it. Can't use it.
Anything else? All right. Hearing nothing else, I'm going to call the meeting at 7:08 p.m. Thank you. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thank you.
And all the ways have celebrate.
Year.
Yeah.
Agenda item 28.
No worries, and I'll be sure to email.
I apologize.
No, please just come. It's never too late, especially when we need quorum.